Things I wish I knew before becoming a young mum, part 2. You will not fit in anywhere, not fully, and that's not a failure of your own, it's just because you exist in this grey space. So for me, it was the case that I went to mum groups and tried to interact with mums, but most of them were about 10-15 years older than me, and I think we were just kind of, if we didn't have children the same age, we just wouldn't be hanging out. And that's not to say that some weren't welcoming, because there were some very truly lovely mums, but the only common ground we really had was maybe an outside hobby and the fact we both had kids the same age. But otherwise, yeah, some mums were actually quite bitter and quite rude about the fact that I was younger. Some would specifically talk about my weight and the fact that I had bounced back faster, but they didn't account for the fact that I had a near-death experience and lots of stress, so the cortisol levels were through the roof. And there was just like a lot of randomness. Like some mums didn't want their husbands around me because they thought, oh, she's younger, and I'm just there like, I don't want your husband, I don't know why you want your husband, I'm just here for some soft play, and that's it. So, you know, you'll get a mixed bag of people as you would outside of being a young mum. So then we move on to peers. So I went to university, and luckily I had some really good people that I made friends with at uni, and you know, all kind people make any crappy ones just disappear essentially. Like kind people make the world feel so much better. And luckily, obviously, having good friends, I was able to enjoy the time that I had away from the kids and all my studying moments. But equally, you know, you're not able to fully ingrain yourself into any circle because you're not available in the same way that someone without kids is. But the same applies to work as well. So unless you plan ahead, which I did, for like spontaneous post-work drinks that would sometimes happen, then you kind of like need to plan all these things ahead. So obviously sacrifices have to be made regardless, but it's just a case of, you know, accepting that you're going to exist in this sort of one foot in, one foot out grey zone in the middle, and that's okay. And when you do that, you sort of realise there's an extra level of appreciation for the fact that you get to have this exposure to, so I was checking the timer, I was like, am I out of time? No, we're good. You get this extra exposure and you actually become a lot more wise because you get to meet a lot more people, and it's truly amazing. But yeah, see you next time.